Okay, so I think we'll make a start. So good afternoon. My name is Johan Gilroy. I'm a careers consultant in the careers service here at University of Manchester. And welcome to this afternoon's session, which is an opportunity to meet master's graduates. These are international graduates who are uh, alumni of the University of Manchester who are working overseas since they graduated. Now, some of you may have joined us for the sort of counterpart webinar that we ran last week, where we were talking to sort of international graduate alumni who are working in the UK. But this is an opportunity to hear from international graduates who are working overseas. And it's very much an interactive event. So it's an opportunity for you to pose questions to our panel, to our audience of alumni, and they will share their some of their insights, some of their experiences of having sort of studied in the UK and subsequently after graduation having secured and undertaken work overseas. The session is being recorded, so for and that's something that we'll share for the benefit of those who are attending, and indeed for some of the students who who are interested in this topic, but who aren't able to attend. And in terms of asking questions, we'll be sharing a link to our Slido app, which enables you to put through questions for us to discuss with or put to our panel, and enable you to sort of interact. So if you've got particular questions, particular things that you're interested in finding out, do make use of that link, and that will enable you to pose those questions. But to start the ball rolling, I'm really pleased to say that we're that we're joined by some of our alumni this afternoon, and I want to thank them for making themselves available for this session. And if I could ask people just to sort of briefly sort of to introduce themselves, and what they studied here at Manchester, and what they're subsequently doing, and where they're doing it. So I'm going to follow the sort of how people are laid out on the screen at my end. Thompson, if you could just start the ball rolling by just introducing yourself and sort of what you studied in Manchester and what you're doing now, and where.
Okay, thank you, Johan. Hello, everyone. My name is Thompson. I studied international fashion retailing at the School of Materials back in 2016. After I graduated, I worked in Fendi, the Italian luxury brand, as a retail management training. And then after I shifted my career into international education, I worked for Coventry University in China and now for the University of Manchester China Center. Um, Nice to meet you, everyone online. Thank you.
Thank you, Thompson. Yifei?
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Ife. I got my MA in Intercultural Communications last year, and now I am currently working at Expo as an international public relations training. My company sells smart electric vehicles, and I work at the China Go Global department. I am responsible for coordinating with the product department, and my job is to interpret the technical product features into PR and marketing languages, and generate brand strategies for the electric vehicles.
Thank you. Yeah, it was interesting sort of area, electric vehicles. Uh, can I come to Dr.
Yeah. Is that okay? I begin now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I'm Associate Professor Dr. Peng Xiao. I hold a dual bachelor's degree before I study the IPLLM, that is Intellectual Property Law, in Manchester University. One is in biotech and one is in law. So after that, I got my PhD in international law in Wuhan University. So after graduation, I returned to China and began my career at Baker McKenzie, Shanghai office as a legal assistant. I work in the IP team, serve the top IP brand, and this team consistently ranked first in Asia, and this experience laid a solid foundation for my career. After that, I joined Zhongnan University of Economics and Law, and where I'm currently an associate professor in International Law School and chief expert of the Law Development and Judicial Reform Research Center, and I'm the director of the International Life Law Research Center. So my responsibility, including teaching and supervising my postgraduate students, and I also work as a senior editorial board member of Health Law, a journal. So beyond academia, I practice law at Jinhong law firm and serve as a senior consultant at Wuhan Intellectual Property Service Group. So this role allowed me to apply the latest legal theories to real world. And I also committed to social impact. I participate in various professional organizations. I'm the council member of the Chinese Society of Private International Law and work with the legal translation committee of the Translator Association of China. And I also support the Legal Affairs and Right Protection Committee for Chinese Association of Persons with Disability and their relatives. And for Manchester University, I also serve in the Manchester University Alumni Association and the advisory committee member of Association of China. And I'm the president of our Alumni Association of Hubei. And we have 3,000 alumni here in Hubei. So I devote myself to the connection between them. And I'm very glad that we can share some experience in how to choose a career. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if I can come to Narani next, please.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Narayani, and I'm the co-founder of TFM Overseas Education Consultants. I pursued my MSc Marketing at University of Manchester, and I graduated in September 2023. My business partner and I started TFM in around January 2022, just about 6 months before our masters began. And one of the main reasons was we did not have a great experience with our consultants here in India. So we just wanted to do something that was more impactful in the Indian market. And we just started it as a side hustle. At that point, it was just about helping out our friends and our acquaintances. But once we moved to the UK, there were a lot more students that reached out to us for help with their applications and just basic guidance of, living abroad. And we also got a lot of guidance from the careers team at Manchester who motivated us to keep going with the business. And we won a couple of business awards at Masood Entrepreneurship Center as well. So we decided to come back to India and set up our office here and do this full time. We have a team currently working with us, and we've been in business for past 3.5 years almost. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and Mukta?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Mugdha. Before coming to Manchester, I pursued my bachelor's in commerce with financial accounting and auditing as the subject of specialization, and my master's in commerce with accounting as my subject of specialization, both from University of Mumbai. After completing my master's, I joined University of Manchester in September 2020 intake, and I pursued a master's in management from the university. After graduating, I worked at the university for a short period of time, and then I joined Barclays Bank in the middle office in the London office. After completing my contract at Barclays, I had to come back to India for some personal reasons. And after coming back to India, I started with my own organization, my own consulting organization, where we provide solar consulting, marketing consulting, and Lean Six Sigma consulting services. So what I did was so my father is an engineer and he has around 40 years of experience in the solar industry, and his colleagues have experience in the Lean Six Sigma industry. So I took all the retired people together and started with a consulting organization where we use their expertise to solve problems of small and medium-sized organizations. And recently, I've also started working as a project manager at Blackmont Consulting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so hopefully people have had the opportunity to post some questions via the sort of Slido app. So I'm just going to sort of look at some of those to start the ball rolling. So one of the first questions we've got, this is for Dr. Peng. They were wondering how you got started with the Alumni Association and whether you regard that as a sort of rewarding role. I think yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so it's definitely my great honor to be able to serve our alumni friends, and because, as you know, our Chinese branch of the Alumni Association is founded a little bit late. So we don't have the Hubei Alumni Association until 2019. And I'm the founder of our Hubei Alumni Association. And it's quite random how we found the association. That's just several Hubei alumni we met, and suddenly we find each other in Hubei, and I say, we don't have any association here in Hubei. How about we found one? So that is the beginning of the story. And I also talked to our Beijing alumni founder. They say it's the same story, and he's even more active by writing emails to everyone by saying, if you want to come, you come as the founders meeting. So I think if you want to join the alumni, you just need to contact me or contact anyone who is a member of the Alumni Association already. We will always be very happy to have you with us.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's quite interesting in terms of. I wondered if there are any of the alum who are with us this afternoon who are in touch with alumni in the country that you're in now, that who are in touch with any of the sort of students that you sort of studied with, or the graduates that you graduated with. Does anybody want to come in on that?
Yeah, so if you want to join us, contact me anytime. We have different branches all over China, and we have 60,000 alumni members already. So it's huge for Manchester alumni. And we just have some meetings for the who the ones in charge of every branches in China, and we have lots of expert and very great alumni members, I should say.
Thank you. So just looking at next question in terms of what would you recommend for someone trying to get started in your employment sector? And if I could come to Narayani for that first one, for the first answer for that.
So I would like to add a different perspective here as someone who's trying to hire people for my team consistently just to build a team. I think for people, they need to really focus on the quality of applications that they're sending in general. When it comes to the CVs, I think it needs to be optimized. It needs to be tailored as per the job that you're applying to so that we can be aware of the skills that you can bring to the organization. Apart from that, just coming to the interview and just having those interpersonal skills, also having the technical skills that is there mentioned in the job description is very, very important. So I think rather than making a lot of applications and not getting a lot of results, I think focusing on quality of applications is very, very important, and tailoring your applications is very, very important. Even as a fresher, it's not a problem as long as you're able to show that you have the right set of skills, or you can pick up the task that is assigned to you as quickly as possible. So that's what most employers are trying to look at. So quality is something that I would really encourage people to focus on.
Okay, and just what thank you, Narayani. Just as a matter of interest, as somebody who's been involved in recruitment, are there any tips that for researching the employer that you would suggest? Are there any things that you've kind of observed that you found quite that have impressed you? That's for you, Narayani.
Oh, to me. Oh, sorry. So I think when it comes to searching for employers, I think LinkedIn is a great tool to look up employers and look up vacancies. Because even when it comes to our organization, we're always active on LinkedIn and we always post on LinkedIn as well. So I think to look up employers, I think that's the best platform. But the only challenge that I've personally faced is that when people do reach out to me, it's been very direct rather than just discussing about someone's profile and seeing how they can fit into the job role basically. So I think when it comes to reaching out to organizations, LinkedIn is the best platform because personally I don't think I've gotten great responses from Indeed. So LinkedIn is something that I would very highly recommend because everyone is active all the time, especially recruiters, and just being more like how you can fit into the job role and how you can contribute is something that you can show to the recruiters just so that you stand out, because everybody reaches out very directly like is there any vacancy, but rather than that, just to reach out to them by listing down what all you've done or how we can discuss it is something that I would highly recommend.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yes, certainly making use of LinkedIn is definitely something that chimes with advice that we as a career service provide to students. Just as a matter of interest, in relation to some of the other sectors that some of our alum represent, are there any other sort of insights around recruitment that or hints, tips that any of the other alumni here today would like to sort of share with us? Please, just unmute your mic if there's anything else that you think is useful to know. Okay, I'll come to Mugda first, and then I'll come to you, Dr. Zhao.
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, I work as the professor and also as an attorney. And I should say, as a professor, you need to have lots of publication, okay? You'd better get a PhD if you want to be someone in the university nowadays. And you should be familiar with lots of important figure in this field, and you should have some very good work published that everybody know you are in the academic field. And as an attorney, it's very important you have a great internship in some famous law firm, or you have some networking and research skills. And all in all, I think the professional certification is very important for both career, and I think the communication skills and networking skills is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. And Mugda?
Hello everyone. So I have observed a trend from the year 2021. So in the year 2021, when I graduated, we all were dreaming of joining big organizations. But the thing that happened is most of my colleagues, not colleagues, my classmates who got offers were from startups based in Manchester. So I would suggest one thing, do not only target the Fortune 500 companies based in the UK, target the startups as well, and try to do some fruitful internships while you are in the UK. There are many internships available. You just need to reach out to people on LinkedIn. And I had got a job at ICICI Bank in Manchester. And let me tell you how I got the job. I took my CV, I printed it, and I went to the to the bank branch, and I just submitted it to the branch manager. I said, I'm interested in working at your organization. These are my skills. This is how I believe I can help you. And immediately within a week, I got a call from ICICI Bank, and I had a job at that organization. So that is one thing which you can do. I'm not quite sure whether you can do it with everyone, but this is what I did, and this is how I got my first job in the UK. And the second thing is, if you're not getting a permanent job offer, or if companies are not reaching out to you, you can also try doing contracting work while you're studying. And if you don't have a job offer when you graduate, you can also start contracting with big organizations. Once you start, you should give more than your 100%. And if the organization likes you, there is a chance that they convert you into a full-time employee. So that is what had happened with me at Barclays. I joined Barclays on contract basis, and they were ready to convert me into a full-time employee. But due to some issues, I had to come back to India. So I couldn't take the job offer, but this is what happens. So it's okay. So I would like to recommend, or I would like to suggest that don't concentrate only on permanent jobs, also focus on contract jobs. If you get into contract jobs, you can anytime convert them into a full-time opportunity. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Mugda. Touched on you both yourself and Dr. Zhao touched on some very useful things there. So we heard about the sort of benefit of making use of LinkedIn in your career, and my colleague Ben has very helpfully shared a link there to some of our careers web pages that provide advice on that, as well as on working in academia. And some of what you touched on there talks about the benefits of being quite proactive in developing your skills, and proactively seeking out sort of on almost on a sort of speculative basis the opportunities for potential work experience and employment. So definitely those sort of approaches are valuable, and I believe that we've just shared in the chat some links to some resources there that can provide you with further information and advice about going about that. I suppose just reflecting on some of what has been said so far. One question, and this is open to you all to chip in on if you wish, is what was there always the intention when you came to study here that you were looking to work overseas, or was that always your decision, or was that always your thinking, or was there a point where you were looking at perhaps working in the UK? So that's if I could come to Narani for that.
Yeah, so initially when I moved to UK for pursuing my master's, idea was to work in the UK itself. I was actually changing my career. I'm a chartered accountant and I wanted to do something more in the creative field. So that is the reason why I was switching my career from accounting, finance, taxation to marketing. And it was a big jump, but I really wanted to go for it. And I had done a lot of skill development before that. So I went for it. I wanted to pursue my master's, but along the way, the business happened. Like I mentioned, that I had started it much earlier, around 6 to 9 months before the course started with my business partner. And once we went there, we were actually pretty scared because everyone was applying to the graduate roles, and we weren't really looking at graduate roles at that time. So we went and spoke to Joanna from Careers team at that time. And the advice that they gave was very, very helpful for us because they told us that because you have some experience, you don't really qualify for graduate roles. It's better if you wait for direct hires in June, May or June. Until then, you keep continuing with your business. And if it works out, you have your answer. And that's what we did. We continued with the business and we decided that this is what we wanted to do full time. And we came back with a very heavy heart because we had a wonderful experience in Manchester. But that's how, the idea was to work there. But then eventually it changed to wanting to do the business full time.
Thank you. Yifei?
Yes, I think many of the students who are currently online might be interested in like working in the UK after their graduation, and especially Chinese students, because we know that the job market in China now is like really competitive. So I wanted to share my story. I graduated in December last year, and upon graduation, I did receive an offer from a Chinese company for a digital marketing role based in London. But somehow that offer got cancelled later, and with the visa policies changing so rapidly, it is becoming harder and harder for us to get a job in the UK. But luckily, after that, I got a remote internship at the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs as a communications intern. And so I took some time to explore the United Nations, like to really extend my knowledge of the world. And I started my first ever full-time job in April at my current company, and the recruitment process was unexpectedly so fast, and so I had to leave my internship early. And so in general, I started my applications in May last year, and that was half year before my graduation, and I kept searching for opportunities in the UK. I have applied randomly for a while, but like eventually I got my job offer within 2 weeks. And so for Chinese students, China Go Global Marketing, this is a sector you might want to look into. Like if the visa policies are like not for us right now, and so like if you can get into this Go Global market and you can gain some experience, even if you're currently based in China. And I have many colleagues who have worked like in China for years, and then like they are getting multiple opportunities to work overseas. And yeah, so you can always work your way through and get experience and take your time.
Thank you, Yifei. And I mean that's really interesting because I think what's interesting is there's just kind of getting the perspective, your perspectives on what you see as being some of the sort of developing or emerging sort of markets, if you like, or some of the, if you like, emerging opportunities. Your thoughts on what you see as being some of the emerging opportunities within the countries that you're in. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on what opportunities they see as being potentially available within their, or growing opportunities that they see within their country for current and future Manchester graduates that are looking to work overseas. Does anybody have any thoughts on those that they'd be happy to share? Yes, Dr. Zhao.
Okay. I want to share some of my insights about why we study abroad, or I think it is the first thing is to explore the world. And this also answers someone's question by saying, is there anything you suggest for if you were a student? I think broaden your horizon is everything. It's more important than your academic study. If I go back, I will tell myself to spend more time, okay, to get to know more people around us, to know what's happening in this world. And I think the international perspective is very, very important. If you want to have full potential or have more possibilities, either in your life choices or in the career. I think they are both very important. If I didn't go to the UK to study, I will not living the life I'm living now. It may not be very easy to stay in the UK, but after you graduate, you can do lots of important job, maybe in Shanghai and Beijing and some other places around China, and that offer you much more possibilities. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. I think that's a very sort of positive sort of testimony for the value of a sort of having that opportunity to develop a kind of global mindset through sort of working, studying overseas. So thank you for articulating that. I suppose linked to that, I was wondering if if there are any sort of differences in sort of working culture or even in terms of sort of recruitment practices that you think it would be useful for students who are looking to either work in India or China that they should be aware of? Anything that you think from reflecting on your experience of having lived and worked and studied, or in some instances worked in the UK, whether there are things that you think would be useful for prospective graduates to be aware of? Yeah.
There is one thing I should remind you, okay? If you are very happy to live a life in the UK or having job there, you will find you will live a more, how to say, life at ease. Because nowadays in China, our working task is very heavy, and sometimes we don't rest so much. And you will find a difference when you're working in the UK and when you're working in some British companies and when you are working in some local companies and when you start your own business. So the working load, I should say, is becoming heavier and heavier. And this is something you should always bear in mind. Don't expect that at the very beginning of your career in China, maybe you can live a very easy life. I should say it's very competitive. The better job you find, the harder you should work. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, some of the panel has sort of touched on LinkedIn and and Indeed and using those resources for finding work. Are there any other resources that any of the panel can recommend in terms of finding work in their country that you could share with us? Hi, Thompson.
Hi, hi. My approach to find my very first job in fashion in Fendi is not from LinkedIn or anyone I've met in real life. It's a bit tricky. You can have a laugh because I find it from dating apps. So as a young people, they're on Tinder, they're on all kinds of dating apps, but there are mixed comments about dating apps. I think it depends how you use it. So after I returned to China, I was dealing with the sudden change of my friends and the pressure to find a job. So I was not in the mood to date someone. And that person kindly gave to me the HR from Funding China, the email address, and told me they're looking for someone in retailing. So I sent my CV to the HR and I got my job from 2 interviews. So I would say in this occasion, be an opportunist and use the most opportunities as you can and talk to people. If you have pressure when you're looking for a job, it can be an outlet to your emotions. So don't stress yourself, and let's go with the flow and believe in yourself that miracles happens in dating apps as well, not just LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you
Great.
for that. Very, I mean, it's interesting. I suppose we do. I suppose we touched upon the idea of speculative applications, and certainly sometimes in terms of career sort of thinking, we do sort of encourage students to sort of think creatively and think outside the box. But that's quite an unusual sort of avenue for generating sort of career leads. But thank you for sharing that. With you, but just while while sort of with you, Thompson, your LinkedIn profile that talks about your work with social media. Apart from dating apps, are there any particular platforms that you would suggest for job hunting in China?
Apart from that, I would suggest because there are many. I think Dr. Peng Xiao is aware of so many alumni clubs. So join the events and connecting with alumni in China because the number of alumni from Manchester is massive in China. So they're from different industries, and it's a like high chance you might find someone with your same interest. And other things like in Shanghai, for example, there are social groups or study groups online like Meetup or a group called Intonations. So it's about people from different countries gathering in a bar or place. People can have a chat, have a drink. So you might meet expats who works in China or Chinese local who works for overseas companies. In this socializing occasion, you can prospecting or potentially looking for your potential employers or looking for some opportunities. I would say be socialized, don't be shy, and socialize. Just go for it.
Thank you. And I'll come to Mugda next.
Yeah, so I was just going to say that there are many events happening, many alumni events that happen in India. So all the students who graduate from the university and come back to India, I believe the alumni events are the best way to connect with the seniors, and there's no harm in asking for a job. Just ask them to recommend, and I have seen that that everyone is always happy to help. And while in Manchester, if students are wanting to get a job, land a job in the UK, there's one way that is join communities in the UK. So there are many Indian communities based in Manchester or any other city in the UK. You can just attend their events, and there are so many senior people who attend. Just go to them and tell them about yourself, tell them about your journey, and ask them to help you for getting a job in the UK. And you will be surprised how helpful everyone is. So the biggest fear that, or rather the biggest hurdle that I have faced while I was in the UK was my fear to approach people, to approach senior people for help for getting a job in the UK. But that was, but the reality is everyone is so helpful and so kind. Even our peers, everyone is living through their own journey. Everyone is facing issues. So if you feel that, okay, this person has landed a job, one of your peer has landed a job, and you feel that that person is not approachable, maybe you have misunderstood it, because everyone is approachable and everyone is so much busy in their own lives, because almost everyone is an international student at Manchester. So you never know what is going on in anyone's life. There's no harm in approaching. And once you approach, things do start falling in place.
Thank you. I think some really important sort of points about sort of reaching out to people in that sort in the sort of through the community. And there's a link that we've shared in the chat around the alumni community linked to the University of Manchester. So whilst just encouraging people whilst there's students to sort of start developing those links and those networks. Is there anybody else that wanted to come in there? Is Dr. Xiao?
Yeah. So my suggestion is that we have two steps. As you mentioned, it seems that when lots of people start, they start a random job choice. But I think if you want to have a good career, it's very important to do some research first. You can reach out as many as friends or professors or lawyers as possible and try or do some internship to know what kind of job you really want, and you know what companies or what law firm, what universities is the top and is your dream one, okay? And go directly to a dream university, to a dream law firm, to a dream attorney team, and try to contact them by saying, is there anything I can do for you? Sometimes the professors, they need a assistant, and sometimes the lawyers, you can have some kind of internship in the law firm. And sometimes in the university, we have lots of competition. During the competition, you will get in touch with the top lawyers or the top professors in this field. And as long as they know you, you ask them, what do I need if I want to join your university or law firm? And they will tell you what you should do. And if they have some hints to tell you, that is more, how to say, direct compared to go to talk with somebody else. And I always agree that we should be active. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It's just interested in, and this is open to all of the panel, on how you obviously you came and sort of did your degree in the UK with the sort of University of Manchester, and I suppose I was just interested in how you sort of leveraged that experience of sort of studying and living in the UK when it came to your chosen career in your overseas. Just looking at how you might have gone about leveraging that with particular employers. What kind of things did you highlight? What sort of things would you recommend that people focus on if they were to be successfully leverage that qualification and experience in terms of developing their career overseas? Is there anybody that could sort of start the ball rolling with sharing their thoughts on that? So it's really just around, what, how you, having completed your sort of degree at University of Manchester, how you kind of sort of utilize that experience within the jobs and careers that you're in now. Hi, Ife.
Yeah, hi. I would like to share with the especially Chinese students, and because a lot of companies in China here, like they screen people based on their educational background, and so the University of Manchester is definitely a really like top priority university for many recruiters. And so for my company, and especially in my department, like we work on the global market, um, I would say like 70% of the workers here are were international students, or like they have worked overseas. And so getting a master's or bachelor's degrees overseas would definitely like upper your chance at getting into a, I don't know, good or excellent company in China.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Is it, anybody else that wants to comment on that? If I come to you, Peng.
Yeah. So I think if you want to be competitive, it's very important to be unique. So apart from everybody have, especially for the professional certificate, you should have some other abilities others don't have. For example, for my postgraduates, they are all from different background. They may have professional certificates in translation, interpretation, and for example, in the language of Russia, and or they have some professional certificate in some different area apart from the law. And for me, I have the how to say the degree in biotech. So that make me a very unique competitor when everybody want to consider me as a candidate. So I think if you want to find a job which is very good for you, you not only can consider others for their requirement, but also trying to build a path that can combine all your strengths of what you have learned in the society, in the real world, or in practice in academic field altogether. And that will make a very important factor for others to choose when you are a candidate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll just bring in Mugdev, and I'll come back to you, Yufei.
So, hi, I would like to just add one thing. While leveraging a degree at the University of Manchester, in the interview, it is important that we leverage one point, which is that we have interacted with, have become friends with, and are still in touch with people from diverse backgrounds. I believe, and we should always mention one thing that which is also true, it is not something which is made up, that we continuously learn from interacting with people from diverse background. Before attending the University of Manchester, some of my beliefs, I wouldn't say beliefs per se, but some of my habits were so rigid that my thinking pattern was so rigid. But after meeting people from, like one of my flatmates was Nigerian, after interacting with her daily, a lot of my habits changed. Rather, it improved. My interacting style improved. So these are so many things which you can mention in the interview after, you know, just jotting down the points and reframing everything. But it is extremely important to leverage that experience because all the companies in India require, I think almost all the companies in India require experience of communicating with international teams. So even if you don't have corporate experience, you can leverage this experience and stand out. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you there, Mugdev. Yufei?
Yes, I just thought of something and I want to briefly add on to what I have just shared. And I have just remembered this program. The University of Manchester was collaborating with this organization called Code First Girls. So this program is teaching female students who are studying at the university how to code. And I joined a course on Python, and I have learned so much like interesting knowledge from that program, and I have like put that on my CV, and it definitely helped me. And this is like not something you can get from a regular, I don't know, Chinese university. And so if you're a girl and if you're interested in getting into the tech industry, I would recommend you to look into this.
Thank you. I mean, there's a number of sort of really useful things that you've all touched on there around the sort of transferable experiences of having studied in the in the UK, and how that can be leveraged in terms of changes in perspective on ways of thinking. You just touched on the value of getting involved in extracurricular sort of activities as part of your that overall sort of university experience, which is sort of not just around the value of the degree that you're doing, but also sort of transcends that really, and is looking at a kind of more holistic and broader range of experiences there that you can leverage. But in terms of making the most of your masters, Ben's just very helpfully shared a link to a web page on our careers website, which looks at encouraging you or look to think about different ways in which you can make the most of your masters. But what I like about what you've all said just now is about the things that sometimes can make you stand out, that are over and above the master's degree that you've done. So you know, whether that be the opportunity, as you say, to have studied and lived with people from different cultural backgrounds and what that brings to the table, or stepping out of your comfort zone by acquiring and developing sort of useful sort of skills from through extracurricular sort of activities. So definitely something that we'd sort of recommend students doing, and making the most of that the opportunities whilst they're studying with us. If we this is a bit of a kind of reflection, but if you were looking back as a student at your sort of time at Manchester, what's one thing that you wish you could have told yourself whilst you were a student, with the benefit of that magical thing called hindsight? Yes, you know, Narani.
Um, so one thing that I would like to tell all the students is that when you go abroad, it's always good to plan in advance, have a solid plan. But it is okay if it does not work out as per your plan, because sometimes things do change, but you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to make do as per the plan, because sometimes it's just not meant to be. But you might go somewhere else wherein you might do much better than what you had initially planned. So don't be under the pressure to make things work as per the plan. It's okay if it doesn't work. You don't have to be pressurized.
Thank you, and that's a really good piece of advice. Uh, Often, sort of sometimes people can have quite fixed ideas about how, when it comes to sort of how their careers might progress, and often, sometimes you find that things don't always progress in that very linear
Yeah,
sort of fashion, and sometimes things come at your left field that you have to
yeah,
deal with, or and also you change and you evolve as a person.
yeah,
And
yeah,
there's something there, I think, if I'm understanding you correctly, about trusting the process,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah.
But
Because from my personal experience, I had done my CA, then I did marketing. I was envisioning a very different career for myself, but I found my own business and it's going great. So sometimes it just doesn't work out, but eventually you do get there. You just need to be consistent in the process and trust the process.
Yeah. Okay, so that, I mean that's thank you for sharing those insights. That's a really sort of useful perspective on things. Just looking at some of the questions there. This is just one around the sort of reflecting on your master's degree itself. Did you find it hard starting did you find it hard starting your career after you sort of started after you're doing your master's degree? Did you have any particular challenges that you faced? Just give people a moment to think about that. But yes, sorry, Dr. Zhang.
Yeah. So if you study the law, you know it's difficult. Yes. And my suggestion is that if you want to further your study and both have your career, you'd better make some plan first. Because for me, I didn't make a full plan for my career and for my PhD study. So I just start my PhD study when I'm also doing my work in the university. So the time is so hard. I have to make balance of my work at the university, my work at the law firm, my work of everything. And I also have to go to the top international law school and try to finish every task that everyone without a job task they need to finish. So I should say at the same age, at the same year, we have three PhD candidates. But finally, I'm the only one who graduate. And there are some other students I know who give birth to their baby. They cannot get their PhD degree. So I think sometimes in either your study of PhD or either your career, it's just sometimes one step you think it's unable to cover. So if I go back to the time, I think make a good arrangement. That's to say, whether you want to get your career first or whether you want to get your PhD or degree first, if you think that in advance, you will be more smooth and have better results and don't take so many hard time. Okay, so this is my sharing. Thank you.
No, thank you. Just in terms of it was mentioned about sort of setting up a business. Narani, just wondering if there was any advice that you would offer to somebody who is thinking about starting up a business. Is there any sort of useful sort of hints and tips that you think they should consider?
Definitely. So, firstly, one thing that I've noticed for my business is that the name of University of Manchester, the brand name that the university holds, is very, very useful for me because the moment I tell any prospective candidate that I am from the University of Manchester, they automatically feel like I know what I'm talking about. Which is a good thing to leverage when you're starting your business. And this is something that I've observed with other peers also who have started their own business. The brand name is very useful. Second thing is when you're in the university, it's very, very important to be in touch with Masood Entrepreneurship Center. And it was very helpful for us to get the kind of guidance with the team. And also, there are a lot of competitions that one can participate in, which will give you the funding that you want for your business. So there is a Bright Ideas Award, which gives you like a £200 funding. That is something that you can start off with. Then there's Kickstarter Award that happens every month with Masood Entrepreneurship Center, and they fund you around £2,000 for a good business idea. Similarly, there's Venture Further Awards, which is very popular. and it gives you a funding of £15,000. So these are certain things that students can look at when they are a part of the university. It's easier when you're there because you can go and visit the team and you can brainstorm with the team as to how you can go forward. Another thing that they have recently come up with is also Unit M, which is very useful for students that are looking at a bigger amount of funding. So these are certain things that students should keep in mind. Obviously, focusing on course is very important, but if starting a business is the goal, then being in touch with the Entrepreneurship Center is very useful.
Thank you, Narani. And there's a couple of useful links that have just been shared in the chat for you to look at if you're interested in, as a student, in looking at support with either sort of developing your own business or looking into self-employment. And we have a dedicated resource through the Masood Entrepreneurship Center that can help support students and recent graduates who are looking into things around enterprise and on entrepreneurship. So, do you want to come in there, Dr. Zhao?
Yeah. So I just add something that as far as I know, some of our alumni, they start business together. Let's just say they are all graduated from Manchester Business School, which is very famous. And now you know if you are the nominee, so it's better to cooperate with somebody you better know in the society sometimes. So I also support some of our alumni in their business process. And as far as I'm concerned, everything goes on well for the business start between our alumni. But it is also someone who suggests that never start business with someone who is your classmate or something like that because you want to be a friend forever. You don't take the risk. But I think it depends. So if you don't have any ideas, maybe you can start from someone in your class or near you. Okay, thank you very much.
No, thank you. So, I mean, I think that sort of certainly seems to reinforce the value of networking with alumni. And I would hope that current students who are sort of taking part in this session would be encouraged to start that networking from now. There's no reason why you couldn't sort of look at networking with alumni, overseas alumni from now and getting some of the benefit of sort of tapping into sort of useful knowledge and experience, or people that you could kind of potentially collaborate with in terms of setting up your own business. I suppose just sort of coming towards the sort of end of our session, but just in terms of, and this is for the panel, are there any other career paths that you've considered apart from the one that you're in now? So just as quite an open question there, but are there any other career paths that that have kind of crossed your radar other than the ones that you're in now? Mugda.
Right. So this was something which was recommended to me. So while at the university, so our university provides excellent counseling services because when you're alone and staying away from your family, you need someone to speak to, someone confident, someone whom you can trust. And university provides really good services. So my counselor, she had mentioned that you could be a good counselor, and she had said, like, she had even provided me links of certifications and courses which I can do. So that was one thing. And second is since the health and nutrition industry is growing at a fast pace, becoming a yoga instructor has crossed my mind. I'm actually a certified yoga instructor, but I have not taught professionally. I've not taught it yet, but I'm a professional trainer. So these are the parts which had crossed my mind because they do have great growth potentials.
Thank you. So yeah, just some interesting sort of perspectives on sort of exploring other sort of career paths. And what's interesting there is that sort of the inspiration for that came through sort of like a sort of your sort of personal experience, and it's very useful reminder of where inspiration for career ideas and can come from, and a reminder of what Narani was saying earlier about sometimes that career path and the inspiration for your next steps coming that might not necessarily come from what you originally sort of had in mind, and incidentally, we've got quite an extensive resource within our careers website, which you can tap into, which would enable you to explore your career options from whichever starting point you might be at, whether you're somebody who has no idea whatsoever of what they might want to do, or who has maybe a vague idea of some things that sectors that you might be interested in, but not sure what kind of opportunities there are within those sectors. So thank you for that. Just going to have a look at to see if there are any further questions before we sort of wrap up today's sessions. Are there any final thoughts or any reflections that any of our panel would like to share as a sort of final thoughts? Anything that you'd like to sort of touch on that you think would be useful? Start with you, Dr. Zhao.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's very important to try to build some strengths and form some kind of milestones in your career path. It's very, very important. Before you achieve a very shiny milestone in your path, no matter who you know, no matter how many people you know, it doesn't really make a great change. But after you gain some reputation and you did some great job that everybody knows, you will get far more chances than you ever imagine. So this is what I suggest everybody, apart from trying to get more connections, to get a broader horizon, we also need to focus on ourselves to work really hard to trying to build some real strengths in our CV, I should say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if people have any sort of further questions or observations, that's we can take one or two more questions. In the meantime, one of the things I was going to ask people to do is just to look at our feedback, providing us with a bit of feedback on the session. And if I could just bring up, we'll bring up the feedback form slide in a moment. If people don't have any further questions, I just wanted to take the opportunity to encourage you to fill in the feedback form, and also just to thank our alumni for giving us their time this afternoon and for sharing their invaluable insights. That's really been very useful and informative and encouraging as well. And it's fantastic to see how well people are doing across in terms of their careers within different countries, and how they've had built upon the success of their study with us whilst in the UK. So thank you very much for your time. If while you're with us, and if you don't mind taking down that QR code and filling in that feedback form that helps to inform us in terms of the sessions that we offer, the sort of alumni session, careers related sessions that we facilitate. But if there aren't any other questions, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Hope you found that session very useful. And don't forget that you can reach out to the Careers Service should you need any sort of further support of a career-related nature.